You're gonna unfriend me after this.
No. Go ahead.
Because a cake is a pizza.
Oh, what?
Howdy, I'm Kodiak Bricks, and I make stuff. A little while ago, I seem to have sparked some hot debate amongst my friends with an opinion that I hold. Okay, here's another spiritual question that has sparked hot debate.
Yes.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? Because I argue, no, however, it is a taco.
I don't know what angers me more. I honestly don't know which angers me more.
Spencer was so incensed by this question that he called on another friend to weigh in.
You have extensive taco knowledge, don't you? Yeah.
I mean,
Don't you?
depends on the question, I guess. What you got? I mean, he's the culinary connoisseur.
Fair enough.
So I guess to answer any of these questions, is a taco a sandwich or a taco? Is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco? What is the definition of a sandwich? What is the definition of a taco?
This led to us creating a basic breakdown and classification chart. I made it glow for special effect. But of course, I had to start off hot.
But if it's a corn dog, I don't know, man. I
Oh,
guess
corn dog is ravioli.
Oh, that sparked rage. That sparked rage in me. I don't know why. I saw red. I was like, what? What kind of disgrace is that?
With that, I launched into my argument. So a hot dog cannot be a sandwich.
Okay.
And it is not because of the elements that comprise it, right? Because we could argue semantics of that all day, but here's the thing. People always change what elements go into a sandwich or what you put on a hot dog, right? Everyone's order is always different. So you can't argue the semantics of ingredients. What we have to look at is presentation and how it is consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you go to a sub shop, right? You go to
Right.
Subway,
Right.
someone orders a meatball marinara, right?
Yeah.
And that gets prepped and put on the bread, and they open up their sandwich and they turn it 90 degrees so that the meatballs are staring at the ceiling, and they eat it that way, you would block that person on Facebook, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But someone does that with a hot dog, then no, like that's how it is. So a hot dog can't be a sandwich because the open face and the ingredients are facing up and
Right.
are generally consumed that way. Because
Yeah.
vice versa exists. If you go to Jersey Mike's, if you go to J Dog's or
Yeah.
some other fucking wiener shop, they unwrap their hot dog after getting all the fixins on it, right?
Right.
And they turn it 90 degrees, and all like the sauerkraut and the relish and everything just flops right onto the fucking floor. And they start eating it in front of you. Like that person is insane and should be canceled on Twitter. I felt it was fairly convincing, so we put it in the taco category, though it seemed Aaron needed some classification.
And a taco is what to you?
A taco is a taco. It sits on its own.
But define it.
A piece of breading, usually in a U configuration, filled with ingredients that face the ceiling. Spencer then wanted to get into the corn dog thing. But
No.
it's not. It's a ravioli.
See, a corn dog changes things up because there's a few, and this is where I'm gonna disprove your whole ravioli blasphemy. Okay.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
Oh, I fucking will. Okay, so
Is that a challenge?
a corn dog has features that a ravioli does not. A ravioli is made out of pasta, and it is meat or some mixture of meat seasoned, enclosed in egg wash pasta, two things of pasta together, and then cooked. It can either be boiled or baked.
Okay.
You do not deep fry a ravioli unless you want the Italian mafia knocking at your fucking door, willing to hang you from the ceiling by your own testicles. A corn dog is a corn batter, a hot dog shoved on a stick, dipped in corn batter, and then deep fried. The cooking, presentation, and the build-up are different. And you are supposed to eat a corn dog with and on the stick. The second you take the corn dog off the stick, it becomes a burrito.
He just didn't get it. You just don't get it, do you? It is a meat and or, product, the intended protein, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
It's packaged within a breading. Now, the stick being introduced to it as a manner of eating it, to me, is no different than using a fork to pick up said ravioli. Ravioli doesn't stop becoming ravioli because you stabbed it with a fork. Or it doesn't stop becoming ravioli because you removed the fork. And it's very boiled down forms. It is a breading over your protein. Thusly, it is ravioli. Case closed as far as I'm concerned, and I'm the one editing this video, so case closed. Except none of that since Spencer wouldn't let it go.
I say that you do not need a fork to eat ravioli. You can in fact use a spoon or chopsticks.
Sure. It is an implement that aids you in delivering the deliciousness to your mouth. Same as the stick. Because I feel that if you remove the stick from a corn dog, as my cousins often did growing up, not only do I argue in their favor that even removing the stick, it is still a corn dog, and that corn dog is still ravioli.
So wait, if it's a breaded ingredient, does that mean that like fried breaded chicken is a ravioli as well?
Case closed. What I'm saying, if you want to take food at its core, at what it is, right?
Mm.
At its most basic elements of presentation. Because an Uncrustable is not a sandwich, it's a ravioli.
That I accept.
Case officially closed for real this time.
I like this guy's arguments because what matters to me is that you keep your definition consistent.
Yeah.
I feel like I've kept my definitions consistent.
You have. Alright, moving on.
Corn dogs are meant to be with a stick.
But what is the stick?
It could be a few things. Generally, if you go to hot dog on a bun, it is a tightly rolled paper.
No. I mean, what, spiritually, what is the stick?
The stick, spiritually,
What function does it serve?
the same function a plate would hold.
Let me ask the question in a different direction.
Okay.
Would you scoop a ravioli up with your bare hand?
I would not scoop it with my hand, no, but I would scoop. But generally, I personally eat ravioli with a spoon because I like to have a little extra sauce with my raviolis. And a spoon is not a blasphemous way to eat ravioli.
But the spoon, the fork, the knife, ladle, whatever you want to use, to deliver the ravioli to your mouth is the same function that the stick serves.
So, a counter question then.
Okay.
Where does the line lie between a ravioli and a burrito?
So, a burrito
'Cause
is a ravioli.
Okay. But is it a ravioli or is it, in that point, a burrito?
No, it's a ravioli. It is a breaded product covering the intended protein. The intended protein cannot see the open air until it has begun being consumed or has been penetrated by an eating implement.
Does size not play a factor in this?
It
You
does
did
not.
mention that presentation does play a factor, though.
It can, certainly.
But generally a ravioli would be wet.
Not necessarily. Because
I mean,
believe
yeah, you're right.
a dumpling, those are generally served fairly dry, sure, with a byproduct of.
But they're cooked in a
sauce.
similar fashion, yeah. You don't have to
Right.
dip them in the soy sauce to eat them. You can eat them as is.
Exactly. And the same way that you would present ketchup or mustard with a corn dog, it's not necessarily required
Yeah.
that those two components be there. They can just be the sauce.
Okay.
So just so we're on the same page, are dumplings and pot stickers also raviolis by your definition?
Yes.
Yeah. They're made in a very similar fashion. They have a very similar presentation.
as are Hot Pockets.
All we're arguing is how many types of ravioli are there?
I'm trying to see the limit. Like, is all encased food, all food encased in breading a ravioli?
Because that's what cuts it off. You are right that there are burritos out there that are open either on one side, that's usually facing 90 degrees, on a horizontal plane, at which point they are a sandwich. So take, for example, taquitos.
Yeah.
Taquitos, which have the desired protein facing two different ways, those are sandwiches.
What if a vegan alternative? So I'm trying to think of an example, but I know there's something out there.
Well, that's
that
why
would,
I say desired protein. It doesn't necessarily have to be meat.
No.
It's the filling. It's the spiritual essence of.
So the protein itself doesn't define it, right? It's just, as long as it's.
Chili does not require meat to be chili. I do argue it requires beans to be chili, but it does not require meat.
Okay. Wanted to clarify that up.
Of course, this debate had an unintended casualty.
All this is doing is making me hungry.
Feel free to step away for a food break.
Okay. A quesadilla is a sandwich. It is a piece of breaded product with your desired contents open face, even slightly, to the world.
Okay.
And then another piece of breaded product to prevent it from seeing the ceiling. Now, if you were to do like that Taco Bell thing, where they do one giant tortilla, put all the cheese in the middle, and then they fold those edges up into, a sort of folding, then it
like a
becomes
Crunchwrap?
ravioli.
Like the Crunchwrap Supreme?
Right. That is a ravioli.
Making Trump following. Okay.
Well, he was starting to see reason, at least.
So, I guess that begs the question of, then, pies.
Okay.
Because pies, they come in many different sizes and many different constitutions. You have your fruit pies, which are not a closed top.
True.
Generally, they have, I forget the name of it. It has a specific word for it. But we'll stick with crust for now. But what is pie then? Would pie fall under the same statistic as pizza in that case?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, because you have that bread that is covering your desired product, even with holes in it, it still covers the majority of your intended product. And it doesn't really matter that it's usually served in slices, though, personal anecdote, I have eaten pies just with a fork straight out of the tin.
Hey, we all been there. And if you say you haven't, you're lying.
Now, I would argue that a pumpkin pie is pizza. Unfortunately, for as well as it was going, we were about to encounter yet another linchpin for Spencer.
What about cheesecake?
Cheesecake
is that
pizza.
also pizza? But cheesecake often only has a bottom layer, whereas pizza usually will have crust on one end, as in there's no sort of in this argument can't really be made for pumpkin pie, but it can be made for cheesecake. Cheesecake has your crust bottom, but if it does come up the side, then you have bad cheesecake. Bite me.
Oh, make no mistake, we were going to fight it. What? Hey, what happened?
What do you mean that's all the music we could afford? No, it's fine. It's just... damn it. No, I'll make do. It's fine. I said it's fine.
Cheesecake always has crust on the bottom, and the sides are the desired product. The sides of it as well as the top.
Sure.
It is only the bottom that has crust. Therefore, it would be like a crustless pizza, which I don't feel constitutes, because you're removing a quintessential component of the pizza.
Some really thin crust pizzas don't have like the end border crust.
That's not pizza.
There's also the Totino's previously mentioned square pizzas.
That's true too.
And then there are open face sandwiches. Open face sandwiches do not have a crust that comes up over the side of your components.
So in that sense, then a cheesecake would be a sandwich.
No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't have a piece of breading on top.
It has a piece of breading on bottom.
Which makes it a pizza.
Yes, but it doesn't have the crust. If it doesn't have the crust, it can't be a pizza.
No. The crust is not what defines the pizza. It is breaded product on bottom and desired protein material on top of it, facing the ceiling.
I get that, but the breaded product is positioned differently. That's why an open-faced sandwich, in your argument, would be a pizza, but I disagree. It doesn't...
You're wrong.
Okay, so what constitutes the sandwich is that it's enclosed on two loaves, or two pieces of bread, right? A pizza has your crust where you hold it and eat it. It is meant, the crust is a defining piece of pizza and always has been. Therefore, the pizza has crust, all right? Just because, and Totino's not having a crust does not make it a pizza.
But it is.
It is not. What I'm trying to say is there is a clear difference between pizza being open-faced food and a cheesecake being something of its own as open-faced food, because it does not have a crust. The crust is what makes it the pizza.
If
It's not.
If a Tostino's pizza is not a pizza, then what is it?
It would be under the same classification as a cheesecake. God damn it! Now look what you got me doing. They're classified as the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, a cheesecake is not a cake,
What is that?
and a Totino's pizza is not a pizza. I firmly stand by that. An open-faced food with breading on the bottom and the desired meats, cheeses, sauces, cheesecake on top should be of its own classification.
I will not give you that.
Okay.
Because the breading that you hold
Uh-huh.
is attached vicariously and literally to the breading on the bottom.
Okay.
Which makes it an extension of the breading on the bottom.
Okay. So,
That breading on the bottom only covers the bottom.
because I
disagree.
see the parallels and I see where you're coming from. My only problem is I feel like there's a difference enough.
He really wasn't budging, so I took a radical new approach. I ate a KFC double-double, bring it on.
Weird flex, but okay.
In all seriousness, I had to shake him to the very core of his being. I had to blindside him with something so earth-shattering that he'd have to come around. You're gonna unfriend me after this.
No, go ahead.
Because a cake is a pizza.
Oh, what?
Moving swiftly along, we got right into other food groups.
But this, I feel like, would also fall under the same category of people who substitute buns on their burgers with lettuce.
Oh boy, that's just a salad.
Yeah, that's just salad.
No, it's not just
Is it?
salad. It's a salad.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So what classifies a salad?
A mix, usually, at some degree, of lettuce and desired meat protein pieces.
So, the definition I heard is a salad is a mix of 3 usually raw ingredients and then your choice of optional protein such as meat and
Okay.
sauce.
I don't think sauce is required for
No,
it to be.
that's when I said that the meat and sauce are optional.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, generally, salad is in pieces. Several pieces.
Not
It
always.
takes... What do you mean? Not always.
I mean that if you were to take a hamburger and remove the breaded bun,
And replace it with lettuce.
replace
That
it
it would
with
still
lettuce-
be constituted as a salad, even though they're solid pieces.
correct.
What if you're a true heathen, and you do just a hamburger patty between 2 bits of lettuce?
Then it's a salad.
I feel like we're losing the connection to the salad, though. Salad is diced. It is chopped up vegetables, and meat is optional. So if meat is optional, then I would argue that meat is not a core component of salad. That when you add meat, it becomes something different.
True, but if the meat is optional and you remove the meat from that equation of just the hamburger patty between 2 pieces of lettuce, then you're stuck with 2 pieces of lettuce. And let me tell you that when you serve something like a spinach salad, you don't chop up the spinach.
Fair. I give you that.
So the leaves can be whole leaf, which means those 2 pieces of lettuce that you'd be holding would be a salad.
You could also throw those tiny tomatoes in there.
True.
That brings me back to the cheesecake question, then.
Still a pizza.
even though it's got the same makeup as a casserole, just upside down.
It does not have the same makeup as the casserole. And if you ever bring that shit into this game that I get really fucking derailed again,
Oh my god.
you're gonna have words. Because I mean fists. And
At
I mean
least-
Minecraft. And now, time for the big guns. I will argue there is a difference between stew and soup. My primary argument sits that a stew, in both presentation and composure, is made of generally more solid bits that, you are right, would be difficult to slurp, whereas a soup can be consumed without chewing. As well, a stew can be consumed with a fork and a tilting of the container holding your broth
To drink, right.
to drink it, whereas a soup can just be consumed with either a spoon or by tilting the eating implement.
So, if you saw somebody drinking a soup with a straw, where is the line between a soup and drink? So, hot chocolate, what is the difference between hot chocolate and tomato soup?
A hot
Is there a
chocolate is a soup.
Okay, coffee.
Coffee is a soup.
What? What is the definition of soup we are using?
Soup is a liquid.
I
Temperature does not matter, which can be consumed without the assistance of another eating implement. Ivan was roused by the soup and stew category.
Okay, chiming in here for boba.
Yeah,
Boba.
boba is a stew.
What? Yeah, but wouldn't that just be a chunky soup?
Yeah.
Well, that things you have to chew, like edible bits inside the soup,
I
make it
mean-
a stew.
Having to chew it, I mean, that's optional, you know. I mean, you could chew it if you're a bitch, but
There's obstruction. You can, if you have a like tomato or potato stew, you could just kind of use your tongue forcefully to mash up the chunks of potato. You don't necessarily need to chew them, but there is nonetheless a non-liquid obstruction within the liquid base.
So is
oh,
spaghetti
boba
a
is
soup?
stew.
Yeah, boba is a stew.
Spaghetti is a stew.
Negative. Folks, if you're not ready to hear about the spiritual nature of spaghetti, then maybe skip this chapter, because I wasn't ready.
Okay, so is spaghetti, or is it would it be classified as something else?
But spaghetti has
stands on its
marinara
own.
sauce.
Okay.
So if we add the marinara soup and noodles, what is it but ramen with more noodle content than soup content?
Right. Spaghetti is a stew.
I feel like this is such a victory.
Oh, relish it while you
I can hear the anger. What about what?
Chowder.
Chowder?
chowder.
That would be a stew, wouldn't
Stew.
it?
Now for the lightning round.
Gumbo.
Gumbo, stew. Ketchup is a vinaigrette. I would say relish is a vinaigrette.
So is a
relish.
Sprite a vinaigrette?
A Sprite?
Yeah, a Sprite.
No,
Is-
Sprite is a soup, you idiot.
Does soy sauce count as vinegar?
But it's made out of soybeans, so that would make it a soup.
That would make it a soup.
Oh, that angers me.
Oh god,
What?
wasabi is a salad.
Then technically, licorice is a salad as well.
Then what would absinthe be?
Absinthe
And
would be a
it's-
soup.
Yeah, in its form, it would be a soup. So you're telling me that dried fucking bananas are fucking jerky?
Yeah.
Oh, that angers me. Hard candy. What is it? Is it just
Hard-
candy?
Oh, hard candy?
Yeah.
Hard candy
Mm-hmm.
is toffee.
Okay.
okay, that-
I mean, that makes
that-
sense.
That makes too much sense.
Uh-huh.
What is an M&M? I swear to God, if you say a peanut M&M is a fucking salad.
So
Has a peanut in it. A peanut is a legume, which is a plant. It's surrounded by chocolate.
and chocolate is derived from
Another
beans.
plant.
So
Oh, no, stop. Oh, God. M&M is a fucking salad. No. No.
And before I let you all go, I just have to say that this has been a blast. You can find the full debate in the description below. Be sure to follow SadCrispiBoi on Twitch, and thank you so very kindly for watching. Cheers!
Cool Whip. What is it?
It
is a dairy product, but if you were to say it's a milk, then you could also argue that cheese is just milk.
And milk is a soup, so it's not its own qualifier.
Right.
Is it oh, I don't want to finish that sentence.
I don't think that frothing it, like the process, in the process of frothing to create the whipping, right? You're introducing air. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Okay. How do you make jerky?
First step would be to grind the ingredient,
Right.
then lay it out thin,
Uh-huh.
then
And
put it out to
introduce
dry.
Air.
Dry.
Is whisking not just a smaller form of that?
Ooh. Ooh.
Cream is
Ooh.
jerky.
Dave, shut the fuck up.